Dude, I forgot to hit record the first time. I'm really glad I didn't get to watch any of the video before I figured this out. So, welcome to today's video. We're going to be watching, it says Chris Williamson explains The Lonely Chapter to Joe Rogan. I didn't plan this video out. This actually just randomly popped up on my feed and I was very interested because I have watched Chris Williamson on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple of times, which I think he's only been on there twice. And I'm assuming I have heard this before, but I don't know if I fully retained it. So it being, kind of directed at this, I might retain it a little bit better. Chris Williamson is one of my favorite people to listen to. I listen to his podcast all the time. It's actually become like a morning routine. And I like a lot of his philosophies and a lot of the ways he looks at life. And I find it to be a lot of the same ways that I look at life. So, yeah, I'm very curious because I somewhat feel like maybe I'm in this lonely chapter right now, and maybe a couple of you guys are as well. So let's go ahead and just give this a watch and see what is the lonely chapter.
You're going to have to write songs that never see the day of light. You're going to have to do all of this stuff, and you have no idea if it's going to work. There's this, I think about the gap from where people are in a place that they don't want to be until they get to a place that they do. And I think of it like a lonely chapter. So everybody that has got from a place where they don't want to be to one where they are, there's a point where they're so different that they can't resonate with their old set of friends.
Right.
But they're not yet sufficiently developed that they've created their new set of friends. And there's this temptation to go back to the old patterns, the old ways of thinking. And I did this live show in London last year, my first big headline show at the Eventim Apollo in London. It was pretty cool. And this idea, I think, was one that really resonated with a lot of people because everybody's trying to grow, and there is an incentive for you to stay in the same place because not that many people grow. Most people don't change. Right. They make little changes. Yeah. They'll cut their hair, or they'll lose 5 pounds, or, they'll switch from one company to another. But how many people do you know that have lost 50 pounds or moved to a different country or have genuinely changed the way that they see the world?
It's pretty rare.
It's not that common. And we are such mimetic creatures. We're so shaped by the people around us that we can't help but be tempted. You're going to have to do something. If you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to have to do something that makes you more different, more weird, more easy to be mocked, especially if you come from a country like the UK, where I'm from. Being different's not particularly celebrated in that way. It's the sort of thing that's quite easily mocked. There's a big culture of piss-taking. And if you start, what are you talking to people on the internet for? It's fucking weird. Like, that's stupid. That's not going to work. Why are you going to do that? So if you don't have that level of enthusiasm...
Okay, so first third in, I just want to mark... I have listened to this before, or I have watched this before. And I do want to say this did resonate with me as well, because a lot of the times that I've listened to most of these podcasts, and I'm trying to find my direction of change and my direction of life, and I listen to people like Chris Williamson speak. It's always about you're going to be the different person to succeed. I have my group of friends, and I've had my group of friends for a long time. But I always wonder if I'm going to lose this group of friends to make the improvements in myself that need to be made to succeed in my own life. And according to what Chris has just said, basically that's what's going to happen, is you're going to lose your old group and your old patterns, your old habits, and you're going to have to grow into a new group. And I'm hoping that maybe I can find a way that my group can grow with me, or we can grow together to where we all self-improve, and I don't have to lose this group, and all that really changes our habits and our lifestyle. As much as I want to say that I hope this happens, but according to everything I've listened to or read, that's not how it works. And so I guess we'll just see what happens. But what he's basically saying is you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. and that makes the most sense. Also, this freeze frame is hilarious. Seeing his eyes just. Anyway, we'll continue.
There is no support around you to tell you that the thing that you're trying to do, the taking up the martial art, why are you training this taekwondo bullshit? Like, fucking 6 nights a week. Why are you coaching all of these mums and all of these like old guys on how to do tai chi or whatever? Why are you doing that? Well, because maybe I'm sort of pulled to it, and there is this temptation to go back to your old ways of thinking. Go back to the road that you already know how it's going to end. And I get the sense that this is not a bug, it is a feature. It's a part of moving from a place that you do not want to be to one that you do. And for the most part, you actually need to live through this lonely chapter. And you look at it and you go, well, the fucking Rocky montage was 3.5 minutes. For me, it's been 5 years. Where's the championship ring? You know what I mean? I haven't won the fight. Where's Apollo Creed? None of this stuff's happened. The thing that I wish more stories talked about, if you watch it in the movies, yeah, sure, there's ups and downs in the journey of the athlete that's going to change his life around and get the goal. But his self-belief never wavers, right? He makes the decision, and it's one straight shot, typically. And there'll be some challenges, but he'll get there. His self-belief never wavers. I don't think that that's what the experience of doing personal growth is like at all. In my experience, you're just swimming in uncertainty and fear and a lack of belief that it's even going to happen. You don't even have the promise of glory on the other side of it. I don't even know if this is going to be worth it. And I'm fucking doing Sam Harris's waking up meditation app, and I'm journaling on a morning. I'm going to the gym. Why am I eating meat and fruit? Does this even work? Like, you're doing all of this stuff, scrabbling like a guy in a fucking well, trying to find a handhold.
And if you don't have a good community of people that are also doing that, you're on your own. Yeah.
And this is most people, I think.
Exactly what Joe Rogan just said. And like what I was just saying. I would like the community I have to grow together and to grow with each other. But if I have to do it alone, I will do it alone. And that's the harder path, unfortunately. I'm at the point in my life where I've gotten... I want to move forward and grow, and I'm either going to chase these goals with support, or I'm going to do it without support. I don't care. I just want to get to the end and grow in the way I want to grow. If that makes sense. I'm assuming it makes sense. We're going to move forward.
Most people's experience, because if most people don't change, you are going to be an outlier if you're somebody who does change.
Basically,
I think about personal growth kind of like a rocket ship taking off. And as you take off, you've got a particular velocity that you're moving at. And what you want is to find other people moving at the same velocity as you. But the quicker that you move, the fewer people are going to be like you, right? So some people will be ahead of you, and you're in this lonely chapter, and then you catch up to them, and then, oh no. And this isn't, some comment on people that work on themselves are like morally better or worse than anybody else. But it's just a stark sort of fact about you talk to people and you resonate with people that are at the same level of life as you are. And that kind of makes sense. You have things to discuss. You're encountering the same sorts of challenges, whether it's in terms of your self-worth or your wealth or your relationship status, or all of these things. Birds of a feather, right? And, one of the, I guess, difficult realizations of people who want to change their life is that if you do it well, you might have to go through a period where you let go of all of your friends. But the really bad realization is if you do it really well, you might have to do that multiple times throughout your life. You find a group of people, finally, I've landed after that period where I was on my own and I didn't really understand. Oh fuck, I'm still going. I've
past that.
I now need. You mean I got to do it again?
Yeah.
I've got to do it again. I just thought that I'd found my group, and I've got to do it again. This lonely chapter thing is it's a big deal, and I think that it explains why so few people make big changes, because the temptation is always going to be to just go back to what's normal, go back to what I know. And it's why, America, for all that it's a horrible cis hetero patriarchal superstructure that's misogynistically keeping everybody down,
holy big words,
it's an enthusiastic and sort of excitable country. And you guys have kind of got permanent first line cocaine energy about everything. And for
100% just like zoned out, because I heard what he said. I went diving into my own life about the friends I have and the group I have, and I'm thinking there's a few people that I can grow with, but some of them I don't know if they will grow with us. After what he just said, I just had that whole contemplation in my own mind about what life am I living, or what my own world is actually coming to. It's very interesting.
For me, it seems to be a real enthusing environment. It encourages me to do things, helps me to take risks. It's either that or get kicked in the head a lot. And I just love it. I love the fact that it makes me feel confident in doing difficult things. And I wish that more people had that community around them. I think largely Reddit is just a website filled with people who couldn't find other people to talk about their niche in their hometown. Like this particular
there's a lot of that, right?
Warhammer
Reddit
40k version or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Reddit could also be...
It's difficult. And when you get to the
a
stage where
like a slippery
you're
slope.
faced with some personal growth decision, you're always going to have to make this value exchange of, do I want to move forward on my own, or do I want to go back with my friends?
It's a good point, man.
You are going to hit that point if you are going to move forward in your life. Unfortunately, you will have to have this mental debate with yourself. It is incredible, some of the things that Chris knows, and some of the people that you talk to. I recommend listening to his podcast, Modern Wisdom. It is incredible. All the people we talk to is just astonishing. I listened to his, I think it was with Alex Hermosi 4 days ago. I think it's something like that. And that is a 4-hour-long episode, and I listened to that thing all the way through and just resonated with every word that was spoken. I like Alex, and I love Chris, and it just works out super well. I should say I really like them both. I shouldn't say I like one more than the other, but you know what I'm saying. I highly recommend go watch his stuff. Go watch Joe Rogan. I don't care. I just like a lot of the people he talks to. I like a lot of the point of views, and I like to look at life this way. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. I probably rambled on a lot. And let me know what else you guys would like to see down in the comments. And I will talk to you all in the next video. Adios.
And I think of it like a lonely chapter. And I think of it like a lonely chapter. And I think of it like a lonely chapter. And I think of it like a lonely chapter. And I think of it like a